Deep in the Scottish Highlands, there's a castle where the faithful reside. Their goal? Win $250,000. But hidden amongst them are 3 traitors.
Exciting, isn't it?
You will need the strength of a lion and the stealth of a fox.
You might know me from The Bachelor.
I am from Survivor.
Big Brother All-Stars.
Hello, Dad.
I know if I was a traitor right now, I would be a wreck.
You're gonna confront her when you're saying her name all day?
Honey, I'm looking for every excuse to get you gone.
No! I think you're a traitor. I think you're a traitor. I trusted you. I'm telling you, either banish me or murder me. I'm done.
Close the coffins!
In this game, the person sitting next to you may smile and be a villain.
I wouldn't pick that outfit, so I don't think I trust your judgment completely.
Let's talk about that.
I can manipulate them.
Did you think I'm a traitor?
Game faces are on.
There are traitors amongst you. You think you know who they are? So trust no one. And you thought The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills was bad?
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Meet the Biz. Okay, we are all very excited today. Very excited. He has entered the room, Mr. Cumming. Hello. And I'm gonna just bring you on because this is amazing to have you here. This man, well, before I bring him on, let me just say, I mean, I can't even get it in a full hour. A Tony winner for Cabaret, and A Strange Loop. Emmy winning for The Traitors, Drama Desk Award winner, nominated for the Laurence Olivier. You know, it goes on. Listen to some of this list. The Anniversary Party, X2, X-Men United, GoldenEye, The Traitors, Cabaret, The Cinnamon Bear, A Holiday Adventure, Instinct, The Good Wife, Any Day Now, Rick and Steve, the happiest gay couple in the world. I love that. Eyes Wide Shut, The L Word. I'm going to just say that this man, he's a beautiful man with a big heart, a loving smile. I'm bringing him on here, Mr. Alan Cumming.
Hello, everybody.
Hey!
Hi, how are you all?
Oh, thank you for, I have to start off by saying the first full Broadway show was Cabaret that I saw. And I was very lucky because a friend knew you and we went backstage and I was like, hi. So thank you for that performance. I mean, how did you get that role? Did somebody come after you and say, we want you? Did you audition? How did that happen?
The director of it, Sam. So I did it first in London before it came to New York, and he just asked me, and I said no, actually, first of all, because because at the time I was this is in the sort of early a lot of noise. Hang on. I was sort of a classical actor then. I was doing Hamlet. I was about to say Hamlet. I hadn't really done a musical. I just thought it wasn't for me. So I said no, and he kind of just pursued me, and eventually I realized that the way that I thought it should be done, if I was going to do it, was very much the way that his production was going to be. So it felt like a good fit. It was sort of about trying to do it in a way that was really like what it was like to live in Berlin at that time and to make it sort of gritty and real and sort of sexy. And so it all, the kind of things all came together. But I was just asked to do it. And then, I've been very lucky in my career because that was the first thing I ever did in America, in New York, was to come to New York to star in a Broadway musical. And the first time I ever came to America was to be in a big Hollywood movie.
Yeah.
I'm kind of annoying in that way.
Yeah. Yeah. But then I mean, it popped and it was so, whenever I think of that, I mean, you're my MC. That's all I have to say. So, um,
Thanks.
and the other thing is the last week I started watching The Traitors, and it's sort of like snorting sugar. I couldn't stop watching it. I was like, saw the whole first season. What is one of your or several of your favorite things about being the host on that show?
Well, what I think is interesting is that normally when people host a show, they're like that. They're just sort of like, "Hello, I'm Alan Cumming, and today we're going to be blah blah blah." Whereas I just thought that wasn't really, and it wasn't what they wanted me to do, actually. They asked me to do it because they wanted me to be a character.
Right.
So I'm sort of like acting a character as someone who lives in a castle and, and invites these people to this for this mad sort of experiment. And he loves getting dressed up and he wears crazy clothes. So I sort of invented this character of a host. And because of that, I'm sort of subverting the form of what it's like of a reality competition show is supposed to be. So I really enjoy that. I mean, I love The Traitors as much as when I'm doing it, as much as people enjoy watching it. And so it's like I'm inside an episode of it. And each night after, there's a thing called the round table where everyone, starts going, "You're a traitor. No, you're a traitor. You're a traitor." And after that's finished, then I go home
Yeah.
and the traitors have to go to the turret and decide who they're going to murder. And I can't go to sleep. I just can't sleep until the producer calls me up and tells me who's been murdered. So I sort of
Ah.
wait like a little boy waiting for Christmas, and find out who's been killed. It's terrible, really.
I love that. I love that. I mean, I could actually ask you question after question after question, but we got so many questions sent in from our students, and we have a special guest coming on. Of course, as we know, your co-star Isaac Leva,
Yeah.
and he should be here in a minute or two. Um, but I wanted to ask, and I loved it because I love the movie Any Day so much that I got um, three different copies of it. One because they had different covers,
Oh,
and
yes.
I love that picture of the three of you looking into the sunset.
Yeah,
Um,
it's a beautiful, beautiful film. I love
yeah.
it so much.
We'll get to that in a second because I know Isaac is going to be on in a second. But what I want to do is bring on one of the students, and not just students. These are professional actors who are working in the business. And we have a special guest today from American Horror Story, Miss Jamie Brewer. Jamie Brewer. There's
Hello.
Remember
Oh,
that? Remember that?
I do remember that. Yeah, nice to see you again.
It's been a while.
Yeah, looking good.
I could see you on American Horror Story, Alan.
Oh, I love that. Yes, so
I
sweet.
love you to a reunion. You and I to be fun.
You should do it. You should
Murder.
call up Ryan Murphy right now.
Yeah, I'm actually excited to sing tonight. By the way,
Say that again.
I'm excited to see tonight's episode. It's a neat
Are you going
thing.
to watch
We're
tonight?
on tonight. We're on with you here now, and I'll be seeing you again tonight.
Of course, Thursday night. Thursday night, 9 o'clock.
I love it. And we're gonna. You had a question too, Jamie?
The one I sent you.
Okay.
The casting of creators if and individuals with disabilities were on the show would be on the show.
Yes, they haven't been yet, and it's definitely something that I'm talking about actually because I slowly each year I've realized, that when you're a producer of something, you can sort of wield your power a little bit. So after the second season, the first season, I wanted to make sure there were more LGBTQ plus people on the show, and
Yeah.
that's happened. So
Yeah.
yeah, actors with disabilities I mean,
Yeah.
contestants with disabilities is definitely something we could do much better at. Yeah, for sure.
Then we need to. I haven't been there before. To the location. I've never.
Scotland
Yeah, I haven't been there.
is so beautiful. That's where I'm from, and it's actually it's not really very far from where I have a house in Scotland. I live there sometimes, and it's being done up. It's being renovated right now. But next season, in a year's time, when we go back to make the treasures again, I'll be able to live at home.
Oh, how
Just
nice.
That's good.
drive to work every day.
Well, Jamie, you and I are going to have to take a trip.
Yeah.
All right. I love it. Thank you, Miss
Good.
Brewer. Your co-star is here, and he is one of my favorite people, and I know one of yours, Mr. Isaac Leva. Yay!
Isaac, hello. How are you?
Good.
It's so nice to see you.
You too.
Last time we saw each other, we were having a burger, remember?
Hmm.
Isaac's mum surprised him by coming to visit me at that burger place on Sunset Boulevard. I can't remember the name of it. The drive-in sort of place. What's it called?
Is that Astro Burger?
No.
No.
In and Out, probably.
Mel's Diner. Mel's Diner.
Oh, Mel's Diner. Mel's
Yeah.
Diner.
So it was
Well-
really cute. Isaac didn't know I was going to be there. It's a surprise.
That must have been a great reunion too.
Yeah.
Another one question I have, and then I want to bring on our wonderful John Paces, who is the creator and the magician of this wonderful Performing Arts Studio West. The one question I had of the two of you is, what was it like working with each other? And we could start with Isaac or Alan.
You go first.
Mm. When I first met him, and I was so happy.
That's
And
nice.
and it's my dream to be in movies with him.
Oh, darling. Well, I just loved working with you. I think it was so amazing to me because you're so dedicated and so professional and such a good actor. Such a good actor, Isaac.
Thank you.
And then to become friends and to stayed in touch. It's really lovely. And I honestly, Any Day Now is one of my favorite films that I've ever been in. I really hold it very close to my heart, and that's mostly because of you.
Mm.
Oh, well, and it shows, and again, I've heard this from so many people, Alan. You're one of the nicest people in show business, and I mean, your smile just slays, and you're just an amazing actor and man and human being. So, and it also during this crazy time that we're all going through, I see and I happen to just look at people who I love, like Isaac and this family Performing Arts Studio West and Meet the Biz. And then I see people who I really don't know, but I see like right now, and I look at you, and it's just this wonderful energy, and it truly gives me hope for this world. So thank you.
Well, thank you very much. I think that's it's a really difficult time for a really difficult time for many people right now. We feel under threat. I think so many people are feeling that we're not represented and people are trying to take away our rights and our access to education and healthcare and all the things that we need so badly to survive in this world and to flourish in this world. So I think the thing is we've got to be strong and to hold on to each other and support each other all the more and kind of in a world where it seems that kindness is not really valued as much, I think what we've got to do is to be even more kind, to lead by example, and to be even more kind, and to show people who need it that they're loved and they're supported, and we care for them.
Yeah, yeah, it's so important. And what's so wonderful is the films that you do come from the heart. The majority of all of them are just like, wow, it's like any day now. And I want to bring on John Paces because I know he is the man behind the magic of performing arts, and we'll get you on, John, and bring you on now because I know he was on the set as well with Isaac.
Hello.
Hey, hi, Alan.
How are
Wonderful to
you?
see you, buddy. How you doing? How you doing?
Good, good.
What
Very
a
good.
pleasure to have you here. And I just want to I want to echo just a little bit of what David was saying with regard to uh, you and Isaac working together on Any Day Now, which was an amazing, fast, crazy shoot. What did we do that in like 18 days or something like that?
18
And
I
it,
mean,
it just absolutely flew by. But I have to say, for everybody, that is watching, and thank you all for being here. But this was like a master class in film acting to be able to um, watch Alan working every day, to watch Isaac working, to watch the connection between these actors and the other people in the film too. I mean, there wasn't a dud in this film at all. Story wise, absolutely, not only heartbreaking, but funny and real and human, and just such a pleasure to watch you guys working together. And Alan, I have to say, one of the things in a previous interview that I saw when you were talking about your experience with Isaac in the film, it was you made a comment about working with Isaac reminded me of what good acting is and what good acting should be. And in Isaac's case, you said it's like all his emotions were right up here, right up here.
yes.
So whatever that moment in the film was with regard to what part of the story, Isaac was right there 100%. And Isaac, I got to commend you for that. And Alan, I got to commend you for helping bring that out in this young man. I mean, the connection between you guys, the love between you guys was as real off screen as it was on screen. And that was
Yes.
part of the beauty of watching this film.
And that's so nice to hear, because that's what happens in the story, is that our characters sort of fall in love with each other. And the thing I meant about acting that Isaac did is that it is this idea that whatever everyone talks about, you've got to be authentic and you've got to be prepared to be vulnerable, and Isaac is absolutely both those things. And also this idea of being in the moment, like you need to be able to be that person, and so whatever is happening to that person, you're able to be completely responsive. Just be that. And Isaac's got that quality that everything he feels, you see,
Yes.
and you absolutely know what he's thinking and feeling all the time. It's a beautiful quality, and it's for me, it's what makes the best actors.
Yeah. And in a situation with film, because everybody watching, film isn't just talking heads. There are many, many moments with no dialogue that support the storyline that are just as important and just as impactful as when you have two characters or a group of characters engaging in conversation. And some of those moments were just so real and so brilliant and so heartbreaking and sometimes so funny. And I think that just that speaks to the chemistry between you guys, and it also speaks to the talent of each one of you guys and the magic that you created together. It's just a beautiful thing.
It is a beautiful film, and I really love it. And they've done a musical of it in
Really?
Japan. There's a musical, yeah, and they want to bring it to New York.
Really?
I love that.
How did I not know this?
Yeah, it just happened. I mean, it was a couple of years ago they kind of did it, and did the film did really well in Japan. Isaac, you went there. You went to
Yes.
Japan to promote it. I saw a video of you dancing to a school. What was that like?
I liked it.
I bet. And it was called something else in Japan, though, wasn't it? The film. Do you remember?
Chocolate donut.
Chocolate donuts. That's
Chocolate
right.
donuts.
It's what you eat, what I give you to what you want to eat when we're at breakfast.
Man, Isaac was a rock star when he went over there. I just remember there was a great shot of him in a town car or a limousine, and all these young girl fans are just going, oh, it's like they were watching the Beatles pulling out or something. It was amazing. It was amazing.
That's hilarious.
We got another guest here.
Ooh,
surprise guest!
Look who popped on, Alan.
Garrett.
Hey, it's the whole batch of us. Look at us
together. Good to see you.
Good to see
Ladies
you.
and gentlemen, this is Garrett Dillahunt.
Hi, Isaac.
Amazing. Hey, Isaac, look, it's Garrett. It's your other dad right over here. All right. So also,
look at that.
also starred in Any Day Now with Alan and Isaac. And you guys just TV and Broadway and off Broadway and film credits like crazy. So, right in the center screen, two of the most talented and always working actors that I've ever come across.
Oh,
Thanks
man.
for being here, my friend.
Yeah, I missed you guys. I didn't know what's going on. Look at this incredible meeting.
I know, isn't it great?
Gorgeous.
Well, we were just talking a little bit about. Oh, I'm sorry, Alan. Go ahead, bud.
No, I was just saying we were just talking about when Isaac went to Japan.
Chocolate donut.
It was like Elvis.
Yeah, they were lined up around the block for that movie, I heard.
Yeah.
You're big in Japan. You're big in Japan, Isaac.
Big in Japan.
And I saw you on High Potential show.
Oh, you like that? Oh, you should be on that show. We could use you.
And Garrett, my good friend was on Deadwood with you, Jerry Jewell.
Oh yeah, all right.
Yeah. So she sends her love.
Oh, beautiful. I miss her.
Yeah.
Look at all these neurodivergent superstars here. Come on now.
Hey Garrett, maybe you could speak a little bit, because Alan was talking about what the experience of working with Isaac, young actor with Down syndrome, disability, as some people might say. But how was that experience, for you, working, you're a very seasoned actor, obviously. Alan is an incredibly seasoned actor. And, Isaac was kind of new to things, but, how was that experience for you?
Well, it was a marvelous experience, as it turns out, isn't it? I learned an awful lot from both of these gentlemen. There might be no one. I'm a workaholic, and there might be no one who works more than me except Alan Cumming in all areas. And I find him to be. I'm saving Isaac for last, so don't misinterpret this. I find Alan to be one of the bravest humans I know, just in that he is always wholly and totally himself, without apology. And that's a rare thing. I don't know that I can say the same about myself. In this world, in this climate, to have that bravery is stunning. So I was nervous to work with him, let alone this newcomer I'd heard about, Isaac Leva, who, speaking of brave, he didn't know me from Adam, but he had no problem telling me to focus and pay attention if I was messing around too much before we set action. He would focus us in, and he made me feel guilty a time or two, and know that I had to be a little more professional on set. So I appreciate him very much.
I remember that. Remember what was it you said, Isaac, when you went like this?
Mm.
You remember that helping you get centered, Isaac?
Mm-hmm.
There was
What did
something
you say?
Alan said that you would say when you did that.
Mm-hmm.
You remember what that was?
I remember.
What did you say?
You want to share it with the rest of us?
When I do like this, that helps me to memorize my lines.
Helps you to memorize your lines when you do that. You pull that focus in.
Yeah.
And we were talking earlier, Garrett, before he came up, about the spontaneity that was happening on set between the three of you. And there was one scene that I remember in particular. It's when the Marco character, and Marco, who's Isaac played, for those of you who haven't seen the film, and if you haven't seen the film, you should see the film because it's just wonderful and stunning and funny and heartbreaking and all those great things that make a wonderful piece of work. But there was a scene where Isaac had been taken away from his two dads, and he was living in a kind of a small group home situation. And essentially the direction was, you are lying in bed at night and it's the first night away from your family. And that was really all the direction that was being given. And Isaac was there, and talk about being in the moment without any direction telling him to do this. All of a sudden he just started crying, and he was just laying in the bread. He was laying in the bed, and the tears were just welling up in this guy. And I remember everyone in Video Village just going, "Oh shit, will you look at that? Look at that beautiful moment."
Well, he had several of those. I remember when our characters, Alan and I, brought him to his new bedroom on set, and it was supposed to go a certain way. But he did something, whether instinctively or because of the acting classes he's taken, talk about endowing the props and the place and all the given circumstances he was dealing with. And he came in the room, which is, his first time he's had a bedroom, his first time he's had his own space as a character. And he did the same thing. He got emotional there. And Alan thought quicker than I did, because the blocking was me and Alan staying at the door and just watching him and being happy with ourselves that we've given this character this new bedroom. But Alan went to him because he saw that Isaac was genuinely upset in a beautiful way, and went to him, because I stayed like a good little soldier at my blocking at the door. But Alan went to him and held him and then turned back to me. And it was in the movie, and it was a beautiful thing, all sparked by Isaac.
Yeah. And also in that moment, I forgot that I was using an American accent in this film. So I said something to Isaac,
That's right.
"You're all right, are you okay?" or something. But I said it in my own Scottish accent. I had to dub it later back into American.
But it made it better.
He made me forget my accent. I was so amazed.
He knocked the accent right out of you.
Yeah.
Oh, the power of emotional connection. It's a beautiful thing. It is a beautiful thing.
Well, thank you for all the surprises, Isaac and Garrett. And Garrett, we would love to have you come on for your own hour too, and just come and join us, and we can talk and visit.
I probably only have about 40 minutes worth.
Oh,
you could do an hour, Garrett.
Yeah, I'll try it. I'll stretch it. So, Alan, I love you. I hope I see you.
Too. So nice to see you, Garrett. You're looking great.
Bye, Isaac.
Thanks so much, Garrett. We appreciate you being here, buddy.
Thank you, Garrett.
Bye-bye. How do I?
See you.
How do I get out of this?
And Isaac Leva, when they were talking about just how you started crying, you are one of my favorite actors, because you have that ability to be so open, and you feel it, and it comes from here. So that's why I loved you so much as well, Isaac.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Isaac. I love you.
You too.
Stick around with us, Isaac. We're going to play around for a little bit here. Alan, I wanted to ask you. You've done so many projects in just about every area of the business that you possibly can get your feet wet doing and become expert at, actually. How is it making those transitions from a Broadway show to a television show to a film to a reality show? Is that something that just kind of flows with you, or is there that how am I gonna make these adjustments?
Um, it's sort of, I think in a funny way that all those things are so different, but actually what you're doing is kind of the same. Maybe the circumstances are different and there's certain different kind of rules about the difference between acting for a camera or acting in a big theater or, being sort of doing some sort of improvised thing on a reality thing. Actually, what you're doing is you're just trying to tell a story. And I think it's you for me, it's just about finding a connection with the audience. That if you connect and you're in the moment, like Isaac, you're in the moment, you're completely there's a saying in Scotland about acting, which is you can be as big as you like as long as you mean it. And I think I've taken that to heart all my career. And I feel like as long as you mean what you feel and you're doing it and your character is doing it for the right reasons and it's connected to you, you can do whatever. And you can do small things in a film, and you can do big things, but it doesn't really matter as long as you connect and it's from a genuine place of authenticity.
Mm-hmm.
You can do everything. So it's all the same, really, I think. It's all the same. You're just trying to tell a story and connect with people. And if you do that, you can do that with one person, you can do that with 1,000 people.
Right, right. And I do recall something else too about somebody. This is in another interview I saw that you were in, and they were talking about what your process is. And you made a comment like, I don't really have a process. I'm not cheese. Processed cheese is what we think about. Is that, do you rely on instinct more than
Yeah.
anything else? I mean, how much research and backstory do you do into characters? I'm very curious about that, and I'm sure anyone who is, aspiring to be an actor wants to find what works for them the best. So maybe you can enlighten us on that.
I do research if it's appropriate. I mean, if I'm sort of someone who is, plays the banjo, I'd probably have to go and play the banjo. And if it was someone who is a doctor or something, I'd probably go and, talk to a doctor. But mostly I don't do that. Mostly I just, like, for example, the character of Rudy in Any Day Now, I felt I understood who he was. He's a queer man. I'm a queer man. I mean, he's the film that starts off. He's a drag queen. I'm a terrible drag queen. I think. I feel like I don't. I look good at sort of I like a little sort of what's androgynous. That's a good look for me. So bit of eyeliner, a bit of a sort of femmy thing. But when it goes the whole way, I feel I'm not a very attractive lady, and but I gave it my best.
Was that something that was challenging for you in Any Day Now? Having thinking about that. Oh, I don't look like a typical beautiful 21st century drag queen.
Yeah, and I think that was also because the two backing drag queens in the film were real drag queens. One of them does a show in Key West.
Mm-hmm,
amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And so I felt I was a different kind of drag queen. I'm not. I often get asked to do drag and things like that in films. I've done it a couple of times, but I just think it's not. I don't know. I'm not, because I'm willing to play big characters and I'm willing to sort of be vulnerable. I think there's something else you need for drag as well, and I don't quite have. I'm not. That's not really my forte. So that was the most challenging thing, I think.
I'd say it takes a lot of balls to be a good drag queen, right?
It does, yes. Many balls. So, but the thing was just really, the thing that I did for that film was I looked at pictures of people and sort of gay men in the 1970s, and their bodies were different because this was before sort of everybody went to the gym and be bulked up.
Mm-hmm.
And it was before we ate as much processed food as well. And also everybody smoked. So their bodies were different. They were skinnier. and it was just it was a different look. So I tried to get my body. I do that quite often, actually. I try to make my body look as though it comes from the time and the circumstance that the film or the show is about. So I did that, and I think I worked, actually. I think I do look quite like I'm from that time. But the thing was really just trying to be in the moment and just to be like Isaac, and taught me, and like how you just trying to. I don't have, when I say that, I say I'm not a process. I mean, I'm not a cheese. I have no process because I don't have a sort of set structure of things and that I do. I don't see acting as a sort of a kind of chemical process that you've got to follow, or a scientific thing. To me, it's a very emotional thing. It's a very sensual thing. And I look at children when I think of good acting, because I think that when you're a child, you just pretend that you're someone else and you mean it, and you're that person or that animal or whatever. And I feel like the simpler that if you think about it more simply, then it's better. There's not so much kind of sort of method and all these things that, to me anyway, kind of sort of obscures the truth.
Or get you in your head too much, right?
Yeah.
Because all those preparations, even the best emotional preparation and everything like that, once the cameras start rolling or once you walk on stage, you got to let all that stuff go. You got to let all that stuff go. And
I also think it's quite selfish, because a lot of those methods and things, and fair enough, whatever it takes for you to do it, but actually you're kind of making it all about yourself, and you're not in the group. I feel it removes you from the room, because you're doing something on your own, which you could get if you just were able to connect with everybody else and just play.
Yes.
Because that's the thing about actors, used to be called the players. And in French, they're called les joueurs, which means the players. And so it should be about playing. It should be just the way you play, like just pretend to be someone, just play with your dog, play with your chums. It's very, very, it's like improv, really. Improv's just playing in a sort of adult way. So I try and do that. I try and not overthink it. And if I have to learn something or get good at something, obviously I do that. But I think it's much more about just being honest and true. And that's definitely something that, as Garrett said, we really learned from Isaac.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Let me ask you about, with someone who's as busy as you are and working as much as you are, how do you take care of yourself to be able to, and not just, not just physically, but emotionally and spiritually and everything else? How do you take care of yourself to keep being able to do what you do at such a constant pace?
Well, there's a couple of things. I think the fact that I do so many different things means that I don't get stuck in one area. I'm about to go and host some awards. Then I'm going to do some concerts next week. And then I'm going to Scotland to a writers' festival at the theatre I'm the artistic director of. Then I'm going to Belgium to make a film. So I do all these different things so that when I come back to doing a concert, say, I'll be fresh and excited about it, because I haven't been doing the same thing all the time. I think that really helps. And also, I really think it's important to leave your work at work and not take it home. I think that's, especially when you do sort of emotional and quite sort of draining and sad sort of material, like in Any Day Now, it's really important to not take that home, because it can kind of take over your life a little bit and take over your mood outside of work. And you've got to be able to stand back from your work and, have a good sort of perspective about it. So I'm really good I didn't used to be, but I've learned over the years how important it is to leave your work at work and go home and kind of have a life outside of work and have fun. I think it's really important to have fun and to relax and to just kind of have abandon in a way, but keeping that so that when you go back to work, you go back into that focused way again. That's superstar. And And that's what Isaac used to say. And so that to me is really important. And then also just in general, kind of just being kind to yourself. I think, it can be really tough when you've got a lot of people with demands on you and flying around and even though it's fun and you have meet great people and you really enjoy it, you've got to sort of take time, take stock, and just be kind to yourself and just give yourself a bit of you just look after yourself in a sort of spiritual way. And I really, the older I've got, I've realized how important that is. And physically, I do. I go to the gym and I do yoga and I swim and I am a vegan and I enjoy a drink, of course, who doesn't? But I also think, everything in moderation, including moderation. That's my
Well, okay, take those notes, kids. Take care of yourselves. It's really leave it at the studio and then go home and then come back nice and fresh every day.
Yes, absolutely.
Wow. So, David, do we have? I'm just taking a look at the time here. What do we got with regard to other questions?
Yes, we have a bunch of questions here, and we have from New York. We have the wonderful actor writer Dickie Hartz, Dickie Drew Hartz there.
Hello.
Hello, Dickie. Welcome.
Nice to meet you. Hi, Alan. Hello, everyone.
Hello, can you hear me? Yes,
we can.
hi. I've been involved in the industry for around 11 years. I've been involved in theater on and off Broadway, and I just did a film, a full episodic film with a series. Last December, we filmed it in New York City, and it's deaf, disabled, LGBTQIA, queer, ASL language ensemble.
Wow.
And show. Anyway, so we've been working very hard with PSAT, and right now my question is for you is how can we find a successful streaming platform or someone to pick it up, a showrunner? How do we find that so that, I'm so blessed and fortunate and amazed to have such a mix of deaf and hearing cast, such a diverse cast. It's been amazing. But I really would like to have my eyes on that project, because there isn't enough, queer, gay, deaf, disabled or whichever actors in most things. So how do we get that out there, and especially in a streaming platform with maybe a showrunner?
Gosh, well, I think one of the good things that's happening is that even though we're in especially for queer people, a really terrible, dangerous time where we are under threat, I do feel that we are being represented in films and in media in general better than ever before. And I'm not sure of how that is in terms of disabled people. I actually just saw my friend, Niall, the model who's deaf. He's got a film at Sundance. I was really excited to see that. And so I don't know, in terms of getting it onto a streaming platform, I think it's
yeah, he did have a film in at Sundance.
Yes, I love him. He's
Niall and I went to the same school together.
Oh, did you really? Ah, that's so nice.
Yeah, we're actually in the same class.
How funny. So I think in a way it's about having a producer actually that is someone, because sometimes things happen when, like, there's a film, a Filipino film called Asog that's about it's sort of partly a kind of thing about the way that big businesses sort of snatched all the land from Filipino people after the tornado there, and it's also about this trans woman who wants to go to this competition, and it's a beautiful film. And I became involved with it after it was finished. Myself and Adam Mackay and Joel Kim Booster came on as executive producers, just to sort of, give it a boost and to give it to use our platform and our voices to sort of introduce more people to it. And I think that's a good way of, even though these producers are not involved from the beginning, they can champion it once it's finished. So maybe there's something there. But I think it's mostly, I would say, rather than a showrunner, because I would think it's someone who's a producer who can like have all those contacts with the streaming platforms to get it there. Because I feel, we've got to keep. It's like on the Traitors. I feel we've got to keep, especially in this time we're living in, if people are scared of certain people and don't understand certain people, it's because they just don't know them and they don't have any contact with them. And so people, when things are other to people, they start to be scared of them and eventually, sadly, they start to hate them. So what to do in that situation, I think the best way to deal with that is exposure therapy, that you slowly introduce people to the thing they're unfamiliar or afraid of. And eventually, they won't be afraid anymore. So I think that's what we've got to do with disability, with queerness, with all these different sort of minorities. We've just got to push and push and push for us to be more represented, and then hopefully that will mean that people won't then think those stories are not for them, because they clearly are.
Is that how you got involved with A Strange Loop?
Yes. Well, actually, A Strange Loop, it was a musical and it was off Broadway. Yeah. And actually, what happened was there was an amazing guy called Larry Owens, who's an African American actor and singer and comedian. And he was sometimes performed at my bar, my cabaret bar, Club Cumming, that I have down the road. And I went along one night. I said, "Oh, is Larry on tonight?" And he went, "No, he's off. He's got a job in a show off Broadway. He's going to be away for 3 months." And I was like, "Oh," like that. And so then I thought, "Oh, I'll go and support Larry in his show." So I went to see this show just to support Larry. Yeah. And it turned out to be Strange Loop. And I was blown away by it. Yeah. It's a beautiful show about an African American man who works as an usher at the Lion King. And he's writing a show about a man who's writing a show about a man who's an usher at the Lion King. It's a loop like that. And so what happened was I loved it so much. And then when they took it to Broadway, they asked me if I'd like to become an investor in it. So I did. I put some money into it. And then they said, would I become a named producer? So that's how. And then I did the same thing when it went to London as well. So yeah, often it's about getting support from people, even after you've like with Asog, that film. It was after the film was finished, but with The Strange Loop, I was there kind of from, well, not from the beginning, but from when it was first done off Broadway. Right. So I don't think it matters. It's not, if people support you and want to champion you, it shouldn't really matter where they come in on the journey, as long as they're there for the right reason.
Thank you, Dickie.
Thanks, Dickie. Nice to see you. Take care.
You too. Nice to meet you, Alan. You guys take care. Have a good one.
We have Katie Harney Johnson here today.
Hello. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
First, thank you, Alan, for being here and taking the time to talk with us, because I know we all appreciate it a lot. So you are an award-winning actor, you're a director, producer, writer, and as you mentioned in the last segment there, you're also an owner of a New York nightclub called Club Cumming. So I was just curious about the story behind how that started. Is it true it started in your dressing room on Broadway?
Yes, it started in my dressing room at Studio 54, which is a theatre on Broadway, and I was doing the musical Cabaret there about 10 years ago. And what happened was I accidentally ended up doing the show on Broadway at the same time as doing the sixth season of The Good Wife, which was this TV show I was in at the time. and it was kind of a mistake. We thought the we thought the Good Wife was going to be over, and then they said, "Oh no, we want another season." And so I thought, "Oh." Anyway, I ended up doing both things at once. And one of the things I love most about the theatre is that after it's finished, you all have a little drink and a chat, and your friends, who've been to see the show, come up to your dressing room, and friends sometimes drop by, who are in the area, and it's a really sociable thing. It's a very structured, because when you're an actor on films and things, you don't go to work at the same time at the same place every day. You go to work at 5 in the morning one night and in Africa, and then the next film you're in New York City, and you go to work at 11 o'clock at night. It's just bonkers. So there's something very pleasing and structured to me about going to work at the same time every night, going to the theater and seeing your friends afterwards. So I thought I wasn't going to be able to do that because I had to get up early to do The Good Wife every day. So I actually was doing this endorsement thing with this booze company. And I asked them if they'd like to sponsor a bar in my dressing room for a year. And they said yes. So I ended up having a bar in my dressing room. And so that I could immediately just have a party and still be able to go home and go to bed. And so I would have a party every night in my dressing room. And then the room became known as Club Cumming. And we had a neon sign that's like the one now in the actual bar. And then after that, I really like the sort of mixture of people. I like the fact that I'm good at bringing people from lots of different areas together. And it's so I used to do concerts, and afterwards I'd do a Club Coming party where I'd DJ and have guests and everything. And then eventually this place became free, and I decided it'd be great to have a cabaret bar, kind of using all the elements of my Club Coming parties, to have performances, also have dancing and DJs, and have all these different things. We have a life drawing class, there's a crafting on a Tuesday night early on, just all these different things and our motto is all ages, all genders, all colors, all sexualities. Kindness is all, and anything could happen. And I really love that, because it means that people come to the bar knowing it's a place where there's going to be lots and lots of different types of people. And people always say to me, "Oh, I met these people that I never would have met. And they were so kind and lovely, and I had such a nice time." And they'll probably see things that they see, acts and see shows that they never normally would go to see, and get their eyes opened in many more ways than one. And I that to me is really fun, because you're sort of allowing people to broaden their horizons and have a great experience. And kind of, as I was saying, in answer to Dickie, that they're being exposed to stuff that they maybe might not have been comfortable with, but they actually saw it and it was great, and they'll kind of go home with a broader outlook on life. And that really is important to me.
Absolutely. Yep, absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Katie. We have two groups here from different areas of the country, Futures Explored, and we have Marissa Erickson here. Here we go, and we'll ask you to unmute.
Hi.
Is that Marissa?
No, this is Ellie. Hi.
I'll try to find her. Just a sec. I'll try to find her.
Yeah.
Oh, Ellie. Okay, got it. Ellie.
Hi. I sent my questions in. Sorry about that. Hi, Alan.
No, okay.
Hello. Hi.
I'm a big fan of you. I love your fluke thing, and I wrote this note for you. Love you, Alan.
Thank you. That's so nice. Thank you very much.
Mind if I ask a question, if that's okay with you, David?
Oh, of course. Go right ahead.
My question is Spy Kids returning, and all the people returning from the first Spy Kids movie?
Well, I don't think there's any plans for that. I loved Spy Kids. I love being in those films. There was a TV series, wasn't there, quite recently?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, is that still on? No, that's not on anymore.
I don't know if it's on. Sorry.
I don't know though. I mean, it's kind of magical to be in that film, because when you're well known and people come up to you, it's so nice when people who are sort of young adults now come up to me and sort of, instead of just going, "Hey, you're the famous guy," they kind of come up and say, "Oh, you were a part of my childhood," and it's really lovely to feel that you're kind of a magical part of people's pasts, and you represent. It's almost like being like a fairy tale character come to life. So I really, really love the fact that I did those films, especially the first one. It's kind of so. It's a beautiful film, and I love the fact that still it kind of evokes a very childlike wonder in adults when they see me. So it's kind of nice.
Oh yeah, Marissa's here. Marissa's here.
Oh, Marissa here. Hey, Marissa.
I know how the question was on my phone, but there has it. I sent me a message of it. I know you did stunts in Son of the Maps. So how you do that and how you get involved with David Zimmerman and into the film industry.
The Mask and Loki, huh? Son of Mask.
Yes.
How did you do the stunts?
Oh, the stunt. Well, guess what? I didn't do very many of them. There were several stunt people. There's one actually who I still see a nice boy called Dan. It's actually really nice when you have stuntmen. They're usually very muscly versions of you, and it's actually nice that you think, oh, he's my stunt double. He's so much nicer body than me. So yeah,
your buff doppelganger, right?
Yes, it is. It's like your Michelin Man version of you. But I didn't do many. I mean, you sort of do a little bit. You sort of come and you go like that, and then of course it cuts to the behind and the person getting their head bashed, and that's not you. But I do enjoy like I in the X-Men film I did, and I think a little bit in Son of the Mask. I flew. I love flying.
And that's my favorite part of you doing that.
What, the flying? I think it's just the thing of like the sort of weightlessness, the idea that you can that suddenly you just get pulled away up into the air, and you feel like a super. If you actually feel like a superhero or like a little fairy or something, and it's just sort of and when you do something that's really scary, like going on a roller coaster ride, it's really scary, but you know that it's just meant to be scary a little bit, and it's actually good that you think it's scary, but it's actually going to be all right, and then you get used to it. So and it just looks so incredible as well, that you are flying through the air, and I love that, and I love all the sort of the magic behind all those things when you put the harness on and the wires, and then you just it's very exciting.
And also, David, I have another question too. How do you get? How do you know David from how long did you get into Meet the Biz? How you knew David from that?
We just met.
We just met today,
and it's a great pleasure. Well, thank you, Marissa. Thank you. We could do a couple. I know we have about 8 minutes left. So we could do one more question from Futures Explored and one more after that, okay? So here we go. One more from Futures Explored.
Okay, and they'll need to unmute again on their end.
Yes.
There we go.
Nice to meet you, Alan Cumming.
Oh, bring your head down so we can see your face.
Down close there. Here you can have a seat.
There you go.
Cool T-shirt though, right, guys?
Really?
Yeah.
Look like sides from a film or a script.
Nice to meet you. Huge fan of Nightcrawler. Huge fan.
Thank you.
Try to lean in close so you can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
So my question is, I have two questions. What was it like doing Nightcrawler? And would you be willing to come back in a future Marvel project?
Well, it was really fun, actually. The actual playing the character. There were parts of the film, making the film, where they weren't so great, but actually the character I really liked. Such an interesting character because he's sort of, another one of these characters that you think is a baddie, but then you realize he's sort of been misunderstood and he's sort of been taken advantage of by other people. I always like playing parts like that. And it's kind of great, but also scary when you are interpreting something that already exists in another form. Like in the comic books, people had, when I played Nightcrawler, everyone was so desperate to see what I was going to do and how he's going to look. And it was a lot of responsibility because I didn't want to let people down. At the same time, I didn't really know much about the X-Men before I was in the film. So I had sort of no preconceived notions. I actually, when I first did it, I got confused and I thought he was green and not blue. But I think it was sort of a really great thing because it did kind of work out quite well and people really liked the way he was portrayed. And I felt that I'd kind of honored his comic book legacy. And it was a really good film. I really liked the film. And so, yeah, I wouldn't say no to going back again. It'd be kind of interesting. I think it's happening a lot right now. I'm going to do later this summer a sequel to a film I did called Romeo and Michelle's High School Reunion, about 25 years after we made the first one. So it's kind of interesting going back to things that you did such a long time ago. And when you're in such a different part of your stage of your life, to go back to that character and see how you'll meet that character again. So yes, I would be intrigued to meet Nightcrawler again. Never say never,
Never say never. Thank you. Thank
Thank you
you,
very much.
Futures Explored. I love it. The thing is, we have so many questions here. We could go on for hours, but we'll do one more. And one question that I had too, what are you most proud of in your life?
I'm most proud of the times when I've inspired people by just being myself and saying what I believe in and standing up for things that I think are important. So it's much more about, I wrote a book about my childhood and about the fact that my father was very abusive to me, and writing that made a lot of people feel they could talk about their abuse and talk about what happened to them and their families, and that's much more something I'm proud of than my work or awards or anything. I really do feel that when you have helped someone just by being yourself, I mean, I'm not doing anything. I'm just sort of telling my story, living my truth. That I'm very proud of, that I can help people and inspire them in that way.
And you definitely do that for so many people. Let's see. I know that we have Lucas Selusky, and Lucas, are you there?
Yes, I am there.
He loves animation, and I know he must have a wonderful question about that.
Yes.
Okay, we'll bring you in.
Yeah, I'm right
There
here.
he is.
Okay, there you are. We'll get you in. Okay. There he is.
Hello.
Hi. I am a big fan of Masterpiece. I'm not going to lie about that.
No need.
And I am writing an animated film called Fly Away Home. I'm going to ask if you could take the role of Miles for my project on the Easter Seals Challenge. I'm writing a suspense and mystery, and it's pretty amazing. So my question is, what do you want the most success in your life? And I am a huge fan of Masterpiece myself.
So what was it? What is the most? What have I had the most success with?
Or what do you want the most what do you want the most at this moment in your life? Is that
Oh, but it's funny you should say that about Masterpiece because I just was in Boston yesterday shooting the next. I go down there once a year and I shoot all my little links, all the little pieces to camera. for the whole season. So I just did that. So I've been doing my I'm Alan Cumming, and this is Masterpiece Mystery. Been doing that week. But what do I want to do? What do I want to have success with? I don't know. I think I want to just keep on doing lots of different things, and doing things are going pretty well right now, and I really enjoy my life. I think I want to kind of keep being able to balance the work that I do with also being able to speak out and try and reach people with what I think is right in the world, and where I think maybe we could change our minds about certain things and be kinder to people, and to not to resist being well, to resist actually, but to resist being cajoled into hating people who are different to us. I think I want to keep doing that, but in a way that I feel I'm going to be listened to and heard, and not just, because I think that's the thing about in America right now. People don't listen to each other. They're just shouting. Everyone's just shouting at each other, just being so angry. And I feel that the only way that someone's going to change, no one's going to change if you shout at them. But hopefully by being kind and by example, and by kind of explaining how people's actions really hurt other people, and how maybe they might want to change those actions in the future. I think that's how you make real change. So that's what I want to have more success with. Yeah.
I agree. I want to do the exact same thing.
Yay. Thank you.
And I've been a big fan of Miley
Lucas. That was
Cyrus
beautiful.
ever since.
Oh, great.
Thank you, Lucas.
Thank you, Lucas.
I want to thank you so much, Alan, and for being here. It feels like part of the family.
Oh, that's so kind. That's a very nice thing to say. I really have loved talking to everybody, and I love all these faces down here. I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to talk to you all, but you all look beautiful.
So many questions, so little time, right?
Yes.
Well,
so lovely. Every moment spent with Isaac is a magic moment. So thank you for asking
that's
me.
glorious.
Thank you, Alan.
Thank you, Alan. We'll get a big
wonderful.
Before we wrap it up, we'll just get a big picture.
Giant screenshot of everybody, right?
A screenshot with Alan. Alan, what will we say on the count of three? What would we like to say?
I think we should say Isaac.
I love that. Okay. We'll do this three times. 1, 2, 3. Isaac.
Isaac.
One more time. 1, 2, 3. Isaac. And then the last time, because we have 3 pages. 1, 2, 3. Isaac.
Isaac.
And Alan Cumming, thank you so much. You're a gem.
Thank you so much. It was lovely.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Hey, everybody.
Thank you, Alan. Take care, buddy.
Bye. See you.
Oh, it's the oldest story in the book. Boy meets girl, boy loses girl, boy kicks open the closet door and finally meets Mr. Right.
I don't know.
What do you want?
You got a kid, right? Loud music ain't good for kids. It hurts their ears.
Mind your own business.
What's your name?
Marco.
I'm Rudy.
Family services people know each
No,
other?
they do not, and I prefer to keep it that way. Thank you.
Paul!
What the hell are you doing? Last night, his mom left him alone, and she ain't been back since then.
What do you want me to do about it?
You're a lawyer.
We have some legal papers we'd like you to sign.
And what do they say?
That Rudy will take care of Marco while you're locked up. You're gonna try and keep him, aren't you?
Yes, I am. Marco didn't ask to be born to a junkie, didn't ask to be different, didn't ask for none of this. And I just don't see why he should be punished anymore for stuff that ain't his fault.
There's no way the judge is gonna grant you custody. Just don't mention a relationship. Don't.
I see here that Mr. Donatello lives with you.
He's my cousin.
So what's the game plan here? We're gonna be wrinkled old queens still telling people we're cousins?
Do you want to lose him?
That's discrimination, Paul.
It is not discrimination. That's reality.
Is this my home?
Yeah, this is your home. told me you became an attorney so you could change the world. Here is your chance to do some of that world changing.
No one in this entire world wants him. Except us. We want him. We love him. Isn't that what he deserves? Isn't that what every child deserves?
I believe in us, and I believe no matter what, we have right on our side.
Will you tell me a story?
Okay.
I like happy ending.
Don't we all, sweetheart?